kind of a sprinkly May evening. We'll see if this video is successful. So I used to be so into the idea of meaning when it came to work. So much so that I have a lot of concepts for projects that never materialized, but they were deeply meaningful. Every once in a while, I got one tiny chunk of something done, but I would conceptualize these very meaningful things about form and format and how they were commentaries on this, that, and the other thing. And come to think of it, one of the few projects like that I really managed to finish, it was a brutal slog, but it had some of my personality in it, and I think that's partially why I could finish it. Airplane overhead. Okay, so lots of meaning. When I went to art school, I attempted to make very meaningful work. And again, I never finished any of it. Because I was a thoughtful student who could talk a good game, I somehow did not fail out of art school, but instead got super good grades, gave like the class talk, and got 2 scholarships. To me, that speaks more to the sorry state of the entire world than my talent, but mostly I think it's because I talk a good game, and everyone was overlooking my shortcomings as a student. But very meaningful work is the short of it after that slightly negative rant. So, what's interesting to me is it took me a very long time to come to grips with the fact that in artwork, in design work, I still have some semblance of meaning, but that's usually because you have to pick a paper, so might as well make the paper mean something. You have to pick a font, the font might as well mean something. Outside of that, in my artwork, which has always been the thing I had a harder time finishing, I didn't start being productive until I realized I was making a lot of stuff that I was happy with on accident that was totally deprived of meaning. So I would walk around Minneapolis on lunch breaks and just shoot photos, just take photos of stuff. Very rarely was it like, oh, no, never was I like, oh, that's a meaningful juxtaposition. A side tangent. This is Lake Harriet in Minneapolis. All of these people have lakeside homes atop a hill. How lucky. Except that they're directly in a flight path. So, sucky. Sometimes the price of living in a good part of town. So I started making a lot of stuff that has no meaning. In fact, I would argue that everything I make outside of graphic design work, because graphic design is actually like an intermediary communications method, has no meaning. So examples, the music I make as Halifax, there's no meaning in it whatsoever, which is made even easier by the fact that there's no samples and there's no instruments that I'm attached to, so there's no meaning whatsoever. There are bits and pieces that reference something else, like there's a structure that it doesn't reference a Jawbox song, but I listened to a Jawbox song and I thought, oh, I should try that technique of verse, bridge, verse, bridge, chorus. That could be neat. That's not meaning though. Like, it's not a commentary on pop music or jawbox. When I try to make a song that sounds like a metal riff, it's not a commentary on metal or anything else. They're just sounds that are interesting to me. To the same extent, the abstraction photos. So if you follow me on Instagram, MVA Joshua, every once in a while, you'll see this flurry of activity with these abstract photos. If I was in art school, the way I would have talked about these photos, I shoot them with my iPhone, and with the panoramic mode, and with the slow-mo, and with the Boomerang app. They're plastic bags filled with kitchen trash. If I was in an art school, I would have come up with this elaborate justification. I would have said that it's about turning the waste around us into something beautiful. I would have said it's about the futility of abstraction. I would have said it's a commentary on everyday tools. But it's none of that shit. It's bags of garbage because I'm a weirdo. It's an iPhone because I'm lazy and I like as little friction as is humanly possible. And it's abstract because I just think it looks cool. There is no goddamn meaning whatsoever. The green photos, which are kind of like landscape photos, no meaning. At home, there's some unfinished works that are drawings, like essentially works on paper, on press sheets. They're press sheets because as a graphic designer, you accumulate press sheets. And I thought, well, I can either recycle these, maybe I can make a drawing on them. They're not a commentary on print media. They're not a commentary on being a graphic designer. They're not a commentary on memory and how something that was special to you in 2015 can be garbage and recycling in 2018. None of that shit. They don't mean a fucking thing. The only thing you can ascertain about them, about me, is I was bored, I had a press sheet, I drew on it, or I collaged Supreme stickers on it, which is also not a commentary on Supreme. The point of all of this, so here's the thing. When I was obsessed with creating meaning, with trying to come up with ideas for things, I got exactly nothing done. I didn't call myself an artist for years. I didn't get shit done. I was sorting through my camera uploads folder the other night because I'm taking up a lot of space on my work computer with blurry photographs of trash. And keep in mind, these are just iPhone photos and boomerangs. And I pulled off just the abstraction folder for 2016 is 22 gigs. That's thousands of photos of these plastic bags. I have no idea how many I've posted to Instagram, but a ton. Meaning is overrated. Meaning is another thing that if you're not making work, then meaning is bullshit. Meaning is only meaningful if it allows you to be productive. It's so critical and it's so important. And I'm sorry I made you sit through a fucking 9-minute video on this one. But it's like, again, one of those things. If it keeps you from being productive, if it results in a wish list of projects you want to do, but for some reason you have never, ever lifted a finger to do it, meaning is another thing that's holding you back. So, fuck meaning. Go like Jackson Pollock route and be like, what's the meaning of a flower? Whoever said that, you know what I mean? Like, let go of the need for things to be meaningful. Pretend you're a musician in an unpretentious instrumental rock band. Like, don't pretend you're in Godspeed You Black Emperor. That's a terrible idea, because then you have to have meaning. Pretend you're in, I don't know, what's that band, Explosions in the Sky? They just make pretty music, right? Pretend you're an instrumental hip-hop artist who doesn't have some massive desire to change the world. Just make cool shit that entertains you. It's okay, and it's enough. You don't have to do more than that. All right, thanks a lot for watching. This one was a long one. Hope you enjoyed it.